So this is a talk for people who are seeking God because they feel they're sure there's something else. There's something else going on. Now, if you feel that, I can talk to you because we're on the same page. That's how I got connected up with the Almighty because I knew there was something else. I knew there was. And we would try to get high. I was a Berkeley student in the '60s. You know, as part of the free speech movement and so on. Went to jail briefly. It was exciting times, but anyway, I knew there was something else. There had to be something else, and you could listen to people. You could read books, some books. You could feel like there were other things. There were things I was missing out on. Missing out. Had to be something else. No. So you can deduce from that I wasn't that happy with my state and condition. I mean, I could have fun, but I was full of anxieties and this and that and one thing and another, and I felt kind of out of it. I was a pretty bright kid. It was like, you know, um, well, uh, I had the kind of intelligence that they could mark up. I mean, I'm not any brighter than you or anybody else. I'm just the same. But I had that kind of cultural education that was raised up in the classics and read a lot of books, talked a lot. Was around people who were very verbal, talked a lot. And, used a lot of words. So and I couldn't. It just felt like I was missing something. So, and it's well, never mind. But and so I had some one of the students, or an ex-student, I don't know, some guy in the student in Berkeley there, guy from, well, never mind where it was from. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he told me that there were a group of people who were getting high, or they were doing something and they were getting high. I think that's what he said, and they weren't using any drugs. Well, that kind of connected up with me because why did we get high? I mean, the people get high for different reasons, I suppose, but I think generally, universally, you want to get high because you can experience something more, or you can experience, you can see better, or you can, feel things more intensely, or, there's more. You get more, and you're looking, and I was looking, I'm sure there's a lot of people who do as well. Maybe not, I don't know. I was looking for the Almighty. Looking for God. I want to walk through that door, find the other side. I wanted to be clued in. Know what was really happening. I guess I aspired to be a hippie. They say hippies are people who were supposedly happening people, or who were hip, wise, they were in the know. Anyway, told me about this group, and so I thought, it kind of passed my criteria. I tried a bunch of things. I tried to read the Bible. It was too confusing to me. I couldn't reconcile my brainwashed, my idea that capitalism and everything is so good and works and everything. You can have a wonderful life. You need the money to get the power so you can do things that you want to do and all this kind of stuff. And you could too. That's what they tell you. Yeah, yeah, you can if you. Part of you can if you don't mind giving up everything else, or your soul or whatever. So he told me about this, and then so it kind of passed my criteria. And I tried yoga and I've tried different things, and it didn't make sense to me. Yoga, I mean, so you do things. The people they tell you all these things. There's all these sayings and stuff and so forth, and tell you all this stuff, and you're supposed to do these things, and you can get those things yourself, and perhaps some people can. I don't know it. I never, because the question that kept bothering me about the whole business was, well, you're supposed to do this and this, and I would say, well, when? When are you supposed to do it? I mean, what? I mean, do you do it in the morning? I mean, is there a time? I mean, how does it all connect up with all and everything, In other words, I mean, shouldn't you have some sort of direction to know? Can you feel something? I didn't feel it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't feel I should do it now, or I should do it now, or anything like that. It's mostly, I don't want to bore you with who I am, but I'll just say, mostly my mind was, okay, what's going on here, this kind of thing. Mental person. So, I passed my criteria, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to find out. So I told him, I said, yeah, I like to try that. Okay, I'll try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see. I want to see what it is. And he said, well, no. I'll check it out first. He was kind of, he was going to be my spiritual big brother or something, or my guide or something. He was going to check it out himself to see if there was anything there. He had that much chutzpah. And then if he thought there was, then he would tell me, well, I respected him, so I said, well, okay. But I had that was a place I wanted to go. It's like you want to go to a place to eat, and I mean, you're convinced, you're sure you want to go there. You want to go. I wanted to go to this place to find out what it was, and I was curious. I didn't want to miss out on anything, that kind of stuff and things. And so I asked him a few times, and no, he hadn't gone yet. I don't know what was he taking his time or what was he doing, and he was holding out on me, holding back. And so finally, a few things happened, and for some unknown reason, because I helped him get out of the bad trip he was on one day by singing to him, and that impressed him for some. It didn't impress me. That's just what came to me. I sang a song to him. Made him feel better. We were young. Sing him, yes, Jesus loves me, or something. That's the only thing I could think of to do. To reassure him. And worked, and God worked through me, obviously, but I didn't think of it in those terms. So eventually, I forget the detail of it, but he told me where the place was and what time they met. In some little dance studio where these people had rented briefly. They rented it a couple times a week from some woman who ran a little dance studio. It was just a very small house down southern part of Berkeley that, had a little front area sitting space there, and then there was a great big room, and they cleared the walls out or whatever they did. So, it's a medium-sized room. It wasn't like even a big room in a library. It was a medium-sized place. And they said, well, you can go down there. They did. So I did. I went down there. I went by myself. I don't know where he went off. He didn't want to, I don't know. I can't remember what his thing was. But anyway, so I went down there. And they said, well, okay, sure, yeah, no, you can be opened, as they said, you can be open. They said a bunch of things. I don't remember what they said. They probably said it was a spiritual brotherhood or, some kind of thing like that. And, those words mean anything to me, particularly, what does it mean, we're going to get all a culture. I mean, I didn't get that sense of it. These are pretty ordinary people. And really, a cross section. I mean, business people and a jazz musician, and some old guy who was a translator, a Russian translator. I don't know. Some bean count, and some. There were a few. I don't know. I didn't know. I talked to a couple of people, and they said, okay, so here's what you have to do. You sit outside and had a little place, a little narrow place, a few feet wide. In the front, there was a chair out there, and then there was the room, and between that room and the little place out in front, there was one of those kind of it was like a window, a place like where you go to order food or something. Now it was kind of had a curtain over it. It was shut over or something in some way, but very thinly. So now the men get together at 8:30 or whatever it was on Monday and Thursdays, and so you can come every night on those days for 3 months, and then if you whatever and so forth and so on, then you pass whatever, you meet your criteria or whatever it was, and you could be open. You still, I don't know if they said you still want to, or I don't remember, but anyway, so I said okay, so the men, a whole bunch of men from all over the place, San Francisco and various other places, they traveled over to Berkeley, and mostly people around the area would come in. There would be a little quietness in there for a while, and then they'd start up. And he said, okay, so when they start, you just sit in the chair. And the thing that I liked what he said, though, was he said, don't do anything. Don't try to do anything. Just relax. Close your eyes and just relax. And just sit there. So I like that, because it wasn't something that I would do. You do this, you do that. I mean, yeah, sure, I would relax, but I mean, that's not really doing something, is it? I mean, it's kind of, you're just sitting there. I mean, you didn't even have to relax, just close your eyes. Sit there. So, I like that because, I mean, if you, anyway, so I did. So, after a little bit, up and start, lots of noise. These guys were making a lot of racket in there. And all kinds of sounds and things, and people are pounding, stomping on the floor with their feet, running around the room. I don't know if they were, I couldn't see them, so I don't know. It sounded, like that kind of thing. footsteps roll around, and singing and chanting and moaning and weeping and uh, giving signs of agony, and because and some of it was quite. Occasionally, the singing was was nice, sounding kind of melodic. But there was all kind of a cacophony, a bunch of sounds. Now, the thing that was interesting was that the sounds didn't put me off. I mean, it was like, oh God, I don't want to hear a bunch of this crap. Or this sounds funny. I don't know what these people are doing. This is weird. I'm getting out of here. No, it was perfectly innocuous. There wasn't any dross. There wasn't any kick down. And the sounds that you normally would think would be kind of like off-putting, but they weren't. It sounds like then nothing. It's like somebody humming to themselves or something like that. Mostly, not. In fact, I don't recall. There wasn't any English. There weren't people speaking. I am the one who is the one who is the one who is the one who was the one who is the one who will be in the one. That kind of thing. There wasn't anything like that. No English, as I recall. Anyway, it didn't bother me too much, and I was, eager. 3 months, my God, it was a long time, twice a week. Oh, as a 22-year-old boy, a young man, I could hardly bear to even think about that, but I thought, well, let's go on. So I sat there and I was curious to know if something might happen to me. But nothing much happened. I did feel something in my right wrist, just below my wrist and my arm. Some kind of sensitivity or some sort of feeling that I became aware of was there. But my hand didn't move or anything that I recall. It felt like it was kind of moving. I became very aware of the veins, the kind of part just below your wrist, very sensitive there. It's there. I feel something moving there. Like my blood I could feel, I didn't know what it was. Blood was moving. It didn't feel like blood moving, but it felt something was moving a little bit. Just a tiny bit. To be sure. Particularly. I was sure, but anyway, so after about 6 weeks of this, the people didn't offend me. They didn't put me off. They weren't students like me. They weren't book readers and chess players, and they weren't interested in all kinds of things that students at Berkeley were typically interested in at the time, or students anywhere. But I think there was some younger people. Yeah, there was a hodgepodge of different kinds of people. You couldn't quite make them out. It wasn't like, oh yeah, that group. No, different ones. Anyway, that was in 1960. Oh, never mind. So after about 6 weeks, because they had this way of knowing stuff that it was a technique they used to find out things. So after about 6 weeks, they said, well, we feel you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait 3 months. 6 weeks. You can be open now. Because I came I think I came. I probably missed once or twice. I don't think so. I think I came every time. So they saw that I was, sincere enough, eager enough to, I wanted this thing. So I said, okay. So they received it. So So, you know, I was thinking along the lines of getting high. You get high, you go into another consciousness, you would see things, you would understand things, all these things they talk about on drug trips, and you know, people talk about spiritual things. They went to this world and that world, and all these kind of things that you read about and hear about. So, you know, I was thinking along those lines, but that kind of stuff wasn't happening to me. I was just, there wasn't much happening that I could, you know, honestly say there was something happening. Except I say the thing my wrist sensitivity. So, the night came. It was in the early summer, June, in the early part of June. I don't remember the exact date. Maybe the 5th or something. Thursday night, I think. Anyway, so they sit in front. One guy. There was a group. There was a guy. These are like older guys. not they weren't. They were older than I was, but there was a mixture of ages and stuff. And so 3 or 4 of them. Well, got there, and then one of them. You know, it was a little. It wasn't real light in the room. There was some light, but not a lot of light. And you know, the one guy came forward. He says, you know, so they told me, okay, you stand up here and you listen to what this guy does, and then we're going to do, we'll do the exercise. We'll be open or something like that. So the guy came and he said to me, which was the kind of thing that it was the thing they said to people, but it was also kind of like, it was a statement from the guy who had first, I guess he received it, what to say. He said, pretty much, you know, as I recall, we bear witness to your wish to worship one Almighty God. Therefore, stand quietly, close your eyes, and pay no attention to the other people around you. Freely follow whatever arises within you. And then somebody said, you know, begin. And it wasn't a few seconds, or even maybe, you know, very quickly, you hear these other people, oh God, man, oh, they're singing, they're making noise. Guys make a lot of noise, particularly, they can make a lot of noise when they're left free to make noise, which they were. They were free to do anything. You know, they were free just to follow whatever was happening. You know, pounding on the floor and with their feet, you know, stomping on various things. Some of them were very quiet. But I wasn't paying attention. They told me don't pay attention, so I didn't pay attention. I just stood there. I was waiting. I waited. Nothing much happened. So after a while, I guess, as I recall, I got kind of tired of standing up. So there was some space around. People were wandering around, but they weren't like right in my face or anything. There was enough space in the room for, you know, people to have kind of their own, enough room between people. So they were carrying on. I could see it happening to me, so I got tired and I kind of let myself relax, and I just, you know, kind of went down on the floor, sat down on the floor, lay down on the floor, something, and just wait till this was over. Close my eyes, get my eyes closed, and so, you know, just lay there, and then, you know, after, because they do it for half an hour, approximately, roughly. And so then the guy says, finish, you know, that's So that was it. So now when the guys come in, they take all the change and loose stuff out of their pockets. They take their shoes off so they can be kind of free, and they put stuff under their chairs, and so when it's over, they go back to their seats, and they're pretty quiet then. It gets real quiet, pretty quiet, and they go back to their seats, throw stuff back in their pockets, and they file out and leave. Or they mill around outside talking to each other and stuff. So I did that. And, I didn't hang around and talk. This is, what happened exactly, if anything happened. So I was walking home, and I didn't get high. I didn't get some big experience. I didn't get, this or that, and I wasn't transformed. No, nothing. I didn't feel bad, though. And, there would be more times I could go again and again and again. So, and you were supposed to do it twice a week. That was it. You should do this twice a week, half an hour. Monday and Thursday night, 8:30, 9, 8, I forget. So, of course, I walked home because I lived, maybe half an hour away or something, and I didn't have a car, so I walked home. So, but on the way home, I noticed something that I wasn't looking for. I was looking to get high. What I noticed was that I kind of felt some feelings. Kind of felt like I felt when I was in high school. Of course, when I was in high school, I was, a virgin. I was innocent. I had feelings of certain kinds, which I had, kind of covered over by, I don't know, whatever kinds of things that people do when they're young and don't know any better, and having girlfriends or whatever. Anyway, I hadn't felt those feelings for quite a long time. I didn't notice that I hadn't felt them. I mean, I was still me, but I mean, I hadn't felt that kind of innocence, or it wasn't very strong, but it was there. It was like I felt a little fresh. It wasn't something I was seeking. I wasn't seeking to feel fresh, but it was nice. It was okay. It was hey, feeling fresh. That was nice. So I didn't kind of start assessing. Oh, good, I'm going to feel fresher and fresher. But I just noticed it when I went home. Of course, there was always a lot of talk about everything, but I don't remember any of that. So I kept going. And, I was pretty sure that something real was going on there. I couldn't quite get what it was. So, I didn't have a bunch of, big-headed doubts about anything. That wasn't the point. The point was to, be moved. That was the object of the whole thing, to be moved. To be moved. I mean, from within your own being, something would actually move within you. Wow, a novel concept for me. And I didn't think in those terms. And most of us Western Americans, we don't. Okay, get up in the morning, do this, blah blah. It's always about yourself, what you do, and then how you feel. They have the drill. Brush your teeth, comb your hair. So I think it was the 6th or 7th time I went. So I've been going for 2 or 3 weeks still. Nothing. But each time, it's kind of fun, and go there, get a chance to see if there was something. So it's kind of like an experiment. And I don't remember any of the other times, but on the 6th or 7th time, because one thing that I was sure of was that I was not going to fool myself. I was not going to think, oh, now I feel something, when I didn't feel anything. I was going to wait until I was moved. a real thing, or something real was going to happen to me, or not. You know, I would, of course, you know, I mean, it was the standard thing. I didn't really reflect on it too much. You know, you would go for a while, and if it didn't work, well, then that would be that. You know, you go on and try something else or do something else. And but the sixth or seventh time I was there, I had gone sitting. There was a kind of a, you know, those rattan, you know, things they have in India, woven, you know, those little squares. They had a floor like that, so it wasn't just the, as I recall, I think a dance studio would be a wooden floor. Maybe it was a wood floor. They had the rattan thing, I think, out in front for sure. Anyway, so I was sitting on the floor. People are making noise and doing all these things and dancing and, you know, carrying on around me. You know, with their eyes, pretty much with their eyes closed, and they weren't paying attention because they were doing their own thing. Or they were being moved, you know, to give that credit. You know, they were being moved to do things. Well, that was what you assumed. You know, I'm not big on assumptions, but I mean that was what you were told, and so forth and so on. So I'm sitting on the floor. I had my legs crossed, you know, in the kind of yogi way, because I had learned how to do that, and for some reason I like to sit like that. So I was sitting like that, just waiting. Nothing was happening. My head, this very fine feeling. I felt it. I was aware of it coming into my head. And, you know, it moved me. It moved my head from side to side, very gently. And, back, you know, side to side, back. Wow. Something is happening. Something's happening for me. It's actually happening. So I'm watching this, you know. And so I noticed that if I would, you know, stop being receptive and just kind of, it would stop. As soon as I kind of open my feeling up a little bit, you know, be open, follow freely, there it would come in again, back and forth. Pretty, you know, fairly. It was like I never felt nothing like that ever happened to me. Never felt that. That was pretty exciting, and it felt nice. But I wasn't running around. I wasn't saying anything. So, you know, but that was that. That was the first movement I actually experienced that I'm aware of. You know. So I kept going. Now the thing is, I don't remember for quite a while. I don't remember the details, but I kind of vaguely remember that after a while, I found myself moved to get up, stand up. And then gradually, my arms, you know, was moved to raise my hands and move my hands. My hands started moving, and my feet, you know, right there. I felt, and so I would make movements. So I would walk around the room. And then eventually, and then there were sounds would come out of my mouth. Allah, 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 wa in is Allah, ya he, robe, ya in, ya he, Allah. Stuff like that. Different things. I couldn't make out. And the guy who brought the gift, he said, don't try to figure out what's going on. Don't. Just let it happen. Let it happen. That you understand through your own experience. Your understanding will come later. So it started like that, and it got stronger and stronger. And gradually, and it would be nice too. I mean, afterwards you feel. I mean, you'd stop, but I mean, you know, you wouldn't keep on with it. After half an hour, you'd stop, get dressed. I mean, put your stuff in your pockets and everything. pretty good. And it was a very hopeful thing because here we were being cleaned up, we were being put right, um, we were going back to God. And so that was the beginning of the journey. And, I mean, for people like me and you, if you're looking for something, I highly recommend it because, the question was, of course, I mean, the thing was, because there's a lot of fabrication and lies that go on in the world. And one of the things about this group was that it didn't cost anything. There was no money involved. You were encouraged to help pay for the thing, but you didn't have to. And I did because I was really poor and I didn't feel like, I didn't want to get into the money part of it. So. I let the people that had money, obviously there were a bunch of them that had money, I let them take care of it, which was really not the best thing. I should have, but that's how it was. So you don't have to pay any money, so nobody's going to make a big profit off of you. Rather than, it takes a lot of work to keep a group together and, have announcements and meetings and whatever, and keep everything going along, even for something like that. So there's no monetary motive. And then but I mean, the thing that you would, of course, I mean, the doubt or the feeling that something, your forces or suspicions or anything would come up with is like, I mean, because you're going to open yourself up to something. What is it you're opening yourself up to? I mean, is it good or is it bad? So how can you tell? Well, so you can tell by the results. Does it make you do things that are not nice or weird or low or mean or, not good? Or does it make you feel bad? Does it take you off to a dark place or does it take you to a light place? And over time, what is the effect of it? So in other words, you can tell by the fruit of it. What's the result? So the result was, for me, now, I'm not trying to sell this to you, I'm just telling you the truth. The result for me was, times it was, I didn't know what I was doing. It was entertaining. I mean, it was like you didn't get bored. I never got bored because I never knew what I might be doing in there. But generally, being a young guy, I mean, I was active. I would run. I was moved to do these things. I didn't never think of myself. Just would follow as I was told to do. So I have to totally recommend it for mankind because over time, as years pass doing this exercise, and then it causes it gets to be more and more a part. It's an inward. We use that word inward. It's a process of vibration. It can be a vibration. Feelings. So it's like something's going on inside of you, but a thing that was going on inside of you, as we say, was foreign, or it was like not part of you, or it was like not into, it would soon become very threatening and very unpleasant and an unhappy thing. Oh my God, what I've become possessed by something. And that doesn't happen because it turns out, in my experience, and the experience of, I think there's been about 1 million people that know them. The big experience is, no, you like it. Feel it's nice. Something about it. And then sometimes you're moved to do, really marvelous dances. See, I'm not trying to impress you, but I mean, there are things that you find yourself singing some very nice melody, and then sometimes laughing. Sometimes you got, there are times, many times, regret. You feel regret for what you've done in your life. You just feel regret. Oh my God, what have I done? What have I done to myself? All kinds of things. Then you start to feel better or feel good around people who are also doing this. So I could talk, for a long time about, outwardly about this, categorize it, label it, put words on. Some of that's useful too, but I'm just going to pass it on to you. That gift is available to mankind. God gave it out. It's for anybody. It doesn't matter what you may think of yourself, or what you think you've done, or this or that, or anything, whether you think you're good or you think you're not good, or what your self-esteem or your confidence in yourself is, or whether you think you're somebody, But the things that I've been moved to do, I've never. Now, I wasn't anxious because you had bad things in you. You want to do bad things. I mean, like maybe you want to become powerful and strong, and you want to lord it over other people because you're better than they are. So so you're looking to your own advantage. I mean, all this kind of low things, not noble things, low things. But to whatever extent they're in there, you may feel like you want to do this, but that's not what happens. Gradually, because you're allowing your inner life to flourish, and as it turns out, I don't expect you to believe this, but you're moved. What is moving you? Well, as I say, you see by the fruit, you can tell by the experience. If you experience something, eat a meal that's good and light and nourishing, you know it, don't you? And if you eat a meal that's not good, it's not nice, no matter whatever it is, oh, this is marvelous, this is the best, blah, blah. Not to you it isn't. You're going, God, I hate this crap. And it makes me feel bad, too. And it scares me. And also, I never got scared. I got scared, I think, all the time I've done done this worship. Worship is a word. It's a big, heavy word in our society. Oh, here we go with the worship thing. So, what does it mean? Use it in the sense, in the most Catholic sense of it. It means to pay attention. Pay attention and follow, allow whatever is happening with you inwardly. And why? Because from the time you're a child, you're stopped from doing that. You're often stopped when you're crying. Stop crying. You're yelling in a loud voice at once, and shut up, be quiet, don't yell. Whatever it is that you're doing, which you may very well, and you often are, because what do you know? You're doing these things because that's what's happening with you. That you're upset, you cry, and you want to run, so you run. And, you do all these things that kids do spontaneously. Spontaneously. But we were counseled from the beginning not to follow impulses. This impulse comes from anywhere. No, it has to actually have to be moved. You have to be sincere, and you have to be honest, and you have to wait until you're actually moved. Then, yeah, okay, so that's legitimate. So it requires some discipline, but it's not that. It's not that. It's pretty easy. Very nice. It's easy. It comes like as soon as you relax, you start up. It's life, it's movement, it's action. So you don't think about it. You just let it happen. Observe it, watch it. You don't have to have a guy who observes. You just you see it happens. So so it's going back. It's kind of going back from all the things that people tell you. They tell you they know stuff. And also, of course, as you get older, and the more we find out, the more people don't know much of anything. They do all kinds of stupid, ridiculous things, and they puff themselves up, and they think they're like, they do. I mean, man, he thinks this. He acts like he's in charge. He's the God. He's the guy. I know what to do. Here's what we're going to do. What? Who died and made him? So anyway, it's been very it's been quite wonderful. And as far as getting high is concerned, really what we're dealing with there is consciousness, and then eventually, there's some gradual things that kind of within your own consciousness, the kind of consciousness that you have, kind of lightens up a bit and clears up. It's still the same kind, but I will tell you that eventually, when you're ready and when things in your being get cleaned up enough, you start to have some different. You slip into, you go into another place. But I don't want to talk about this because then you try. Oh, can I go into another place now? Can I? No, you can't. Don't try to do anything. And we were also told, don't work on yourself. Don't do things. Don't use your own will, because you don't know where that will is coming from. And if you really look at that, it's quite true. You don't know what your will isn't. Your will isn't the thing that you're moved. It's a thing that you evoke yourself. And what is that self? Who is that self? So you can't be sure about that. But when you're moved, it turns out, that's the right thing. That's the good thing. That's the experience I've had. Many other people, lots of people have had that experience. So, I don't know, try it. Take it up. One of the things that man is really having a lot of trouble with today is the bad character. In other words, the bad character of man has become quite rampant. But should you take up this gift and allow it to work in you, then after a while you find out that bad character kind of goes off, and you're no longer that interested. You don't feel aligned with your bad character. You get cleaned up dark things inside you. So go kind of gradually. And just go about, and then the neat thing, and one of the really nice things about the gift is that you don't have to, become a spiritual person and, read books and stuff and say this and say that and commit yourself to the belief system. It's not a belief system, it's an experience. that you have, and you just let it, you let this thing work on you, work within you, so that gradually your bad character, you don't do it yourself. Just, I'm going to be good now. I will be good. I will not do bad things. No, that's not how it works. It's like, in my own experience, like, I say, well, I like kind of go over there and meet some of these girls, see? And they're maybe not very, clean. I mean, maybe they're promiscuous, or if you want to, part of it, excitement, or maybe, but what happens is that your good character kind of gets burnished. The movement, the way the movement works, it moves you toward the good. So about the time you're thinking you'd like to go over and see those girls, you're also you start to go like, no, I'm not going to do that. And you know better. That's to say, you know better. I'm not going to do that. I'll just make some dinner and talk to my friends, and I'll do some, in other words, you may not say this out or think it out loud, but it's there. It is something that's innocent, and it's not harmful to me or other people. That's what you like to do. You start to become, you do become more of a noble, I don't want to use that word too much, but, become more of what a human being, a noble human being is, someone who aspires or feels like. You like to do things that are useful and good, and you like things that are excellent, and fun in a good way. It goes that way. So if mankind follow this, that would be very good for us. If we had the people of the world, or even because that's what I've experienced in my lifetime. I was born in 1942. In my lifetime, I've seen there's been more and more people with bad character taking over things, running things, doing things that weren't good. That's how I've experienced it. And then, because when I was young, there used to always be somebody you'd be hoping, come on, somebody in the mirror. And sure enough, a good guy would step up, and that situation would somehow get taken care of, and the bad things that were about to happen or were happening got stopped or didn't happen anymore. And everybody was happy then. And it got to be kind of like, but the other side, the dark side, the bad side, it seems like it got stronger, and it's very, strong today, isn't it? It seems to be strong. We don't want to go that way as a human race. We want to do good things and positive things. So, if people would take this gift up, I mean, come on, it's like half an hour twice a week. You don't have to get dressed up. You don't have to pay a bunch of money. You don't have to go to a long distance. You can do this thing. You can do this exercise, of course. After you've been doing it for a while, you understand enough so you don't make crazy mistakes like being extreme in yourself. Hurting your nerves. You have to take care of yourself. Look after yourself. You have to exercise common sense inwardly as well. You can do this by yourself. Anytime you want. I can do it. I can do it right now. I was going to my exercise. So there you have it. Think about it. Think about what I've been saying, and feel. Do you have any interest in going back to um, go back to where you once belonged? Because the world, there's a lot of influences, and the older you get, I mean, I'm pretty old now, I'm 75. And from my perspective, the world is true what they say, it really isn't. There's a lot of fun things, like, good things that you can do here, but in the end, I mean, it's not it. This world's not it. It's taking you back to a better world. There's a better. It's better within yourself. You don't need to search for it. You can't find it. But if you allow the gift to work in you, why then eventually, it won't take forever. You'll be led. You'll be taken back there. Remember what Christ said: "Seek and you will find." But you don't need to believe that. But you could open yourself up to having that experience. I mean, if you won't open yourself up, you're too afraid, or you know better. In other words, if you're not open-minded, you're closed-minded, too closed-minded, you won't try it. No, I'm not having that. Don't give me any hot peppers. I don't eat hot peppers. No. Or whatever it is. Because somebody told you to, or because you're afraid of it, or you don't know what it is. I mean, sometimes when you don't know something, you don't want to try it. You're not sure. There's lots of different things, but if you're a little open and you're willing to think that there's more to it than what you know, there's more to life than what you know. There's more. Then perhaps you'll text me. You'll tell me. I'll get you to a group where I'll look after you myself a bit, until you can get on your own 2 feet. I'll transfer, because I can transfer the gift. It can be transferred, not with some kind of thing I do. Oh no, I'm going to open. No, but I would just allow the movement to go on in your presence, nearby or something. You can actually possibly do it on the phone. I don't know, but it would transfer. You could be open. It's possible you could do it yourself, but I've heard it's pretty unlikely. I don't know. In all the people I knew, there's only one of them I ever heard of who had kind of come to this, had received this gift before he met anybody who actually transferred it. Everybody else, were just ordinary people, and everybody else had to have it works. It was transferred. In other words, a person that had received the gift was used as a channel. I guess it's a bunch of words. Who knows what it means exactly? But anyway, it works. It does happen, and that's the gist of it. There's lots of stories and books have been written, things like this. But I'm telling you, that's my experience. Okay, so let me know if you feel like you'd like to be open. Man, woman. You need to be. We generally do 18. There's no rule, but I mean, if you're too young, there gets to be difficulties because you're under the authority of your parents, so they might object to, or they might be frightened, they might think, uh-oh, this isn't good, what's this guy doing? So I'm not doing anything, I just pass the gift on to you, and then once it's passed on to you, you don't need me. It's not originating in me by any means. Not at all. No, it comes from the gift. It comes from the power of the Almighty. That's my experience. It's a pretty strong experience too. So, so absolutely no question in my mind whatsoever. I mean, I'm running out of battery power here. Hang on, let me just fix this. Because, where is that thing? Okay, how much juice do I have? 10%. Okay, so I'm okay. So, because I don't claim to know. I can't know everything, but I'm sure. I'd stake my life. Absolutely, I would. I do, actually. I mean, from time to time, it's either go with God or regardless of whether I might die or I obviously haven't. Everything's been, it's come from God, has been great. I myself made some mistakes, but whatever's come from God, it's the best. Okay, ciao for now. As I say, if you want to try this out, there's no charge. I'm going to ask you, if you have a religion or whatever you have, you believe in. I'm not concerned about what you believe in. Believe whatever you believe. That's fine. Or not believe. Don't think there is anything. You can feel that way too. But if you want to try this, it's there, waiting for mankind. Take it up. Accept the gift.